Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, December the 30th, the year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Indicators Part 3 with Walmal. Before we get started, you all know that these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. Walmal, where do we leave off?
We're talking about this whole idea of indicators and what they are, and that is that they're tools. And I think we were using the imagery yesterday of a carpenter with a saw, and the idea that you can, use that saw to cut a piece of wood so that you're able to go and build something. In our case, with trading, what we're building our account, or we're building our account so we can go and take some of it out and actually live on, or we're building our account because we're trying to invest into our future, or whatever it may be. But that's what an indicator is. It's a tool. But the thing is, if you don't have the skill, if you're not the carpenter, I don't care how many tools you've got, sitting out there in the I can't say the word, proverbial woodshed, it doesn't make any difference. If you don't know how to go and actually put things together. I've got a really good friend of mine that, and it's, we tease him all the time because, he owns, every tool there is, every tool that a man could own. He's got every one of them. He's got one of the most incredible, shops that you can ever imagine. But man, that dude can't put anything together. It's sort of like, in fact, it's the type of thing, if I got to work on my car and it's going to be something a little bit tricky and I don't have tools, I'll just go and drive on down to his house and do it in his garage because he's got everything. And a lot of times he said, "Can I help?" And I said, "Yeah, you can, but your name's going to be Gopher." But that's just a reality because he just doesn't have those skills in front of him to go and do some of those things. But he's got every tool in the box. And sometimes you see some traders. I've seen some charts that some traders have put together, and you can't even see the price on the chart anymore because they've got 42,000 indicators all over the screen. And I know there's been some memes that have been put out there to make fun of that to a certain extent, where all you saw was lines and squigglies and numbers and this and that and everything else. And it's like, is there even the actual price chart there anymore? I don't know. I don't see it. I see all these tools crowding the place up, and so it's kind of comical, but I think there's some truth to it. And, I'll bring us back to our tool shed analogy again, too, because you think about it, I don't know about you all, but when I was sitting there and I'm trying to fix something, trying to put something together, it seems to go so much faster when I've got all my tools up on the pegboard. I've got everything in its proper drawer. It's amazing how quick and easy it is to go and get access to everything and be able to see it and do it. And yet, when I leave my tools out all over the place, well, then it becomes a mess, and it's sort of like, where is that? Where did I put that on the chart? Where did I put this? And that happens when I'm trying to fix something. It happens when I'm trading. A lot of times I'll go and move things around because I get bored, I guess. I don't know what it is. And I move this particular thing to here or this particular thing to there. And the next thing you know, I'm actually in a real live event. Where did I put that? I know I moved it. Where did I move it to? And I'm like putting myself into a panic. And it's sort of like, dude, we just go and learn. If you're making money, what do you say, TRO?
Don't change a thing.
Don't change a thing. And here I am changing charts around because I'm bored with the way it looks and causing myself some problems, But, that's kind of, I think, where we left off yesterday. But I was thinking about this, what do indicators do? They indicate what has already happened. They don't indicate what's going to happen. They indicate what has already happened. And so where the plan really begins is after the indicators indicate something has happened, and then you make a decision what you're going to do with it. That's where your brain still has to still kick in, because you have to go, and this is why I think statistical traders have got an advantage, because the indicator can indicate, hey, this set of parameters that you set up that happens on a, let's say 60 or 70% of the time, you now have it. Okay, it's indicated that we have all those parameters in place. Okay, go do what you do. Execute your trade plan. Execute what you're going to go and do. They don't indicate what's going to happen. They only indicate what has already happened. And the people who are out there searching for the Holy Grail, they're looking for that unique set of indicators. If I take this indicator and that indicator and this indicator, and I put all three of them together, I have the magic bullet that's going to guarantee that I win. And that's just not what's going to happen.
No, it's not. Because in fact, that's one of the things I was saying, and people might say, well, wait a minute, aren't you the guy that's coded hundreds, if not thousands of indicators? I go, yeah, but they're just tools. But the thing is, like, I've got the Walmal lines up, and I just have the sweet spots indicator and then the previous H1 high-low. Just, why do I have that? Well, just so you know where price is on the chart. But do I need it? No, because, I'm surprised you haven't busted me, because I was trading this morning off my phone, no indicators.
And that's the thing. You can do that. I'm anti-trading off the phone for a different reason other than not having indicators there. Because the reality is it does make it a little bit easier. If you got, let's face it, it's a whole lot easier to go build a cabinet if you got some nails, you got a hammer, and you got a saw, than it is if you got to go and search the shop for all the different things already cut to the right size and everything. So it is a whole lot easier, no question about it. But my biggest problem with using a phone, is that it's just so difficult sometimes to, you're looking at the chart, and what do you have to do to go and actually place a trade? You got to come off the chart, go to your tick chart, man, and then you can go and place your trade. Well, now, you've had an amount of time, whatever it may be. If you're somebody like me who's a little bit older, it probably takes me a little bit longer than some young guy. But still, I don't care how nimble you are. It takes you time. And what happens is, because you're trading, changing your screens around in order to go and do that. You know what? There may have been something that actually happened real quick, that you missed and you didn't see, that would have prevented you from going into the trade and would have stopped you from going and executing something that, I probably shouldn't be doing that right now. But you missed it because you're fumbling around with the phone.
Exactly.
And so for me, I'm an anti-phone person because of that. Now, I will say, though, I do have my phone set up, and whatever broker I'm using, I do have my phone logged into that broker with the chart there. And the reason why I have that set up that way is because I'm looking at the phone as a tool, and what that phone is set there for is, God forbid I lose my internet connection or my computer dies, I've got a second method. I got some redundancy. If I need to get out of the trade, I can now use my phone to get out of the trade. And that's because my internet is not provided by the same, internet provider as my computer gets it. It gets that feed from. So I have some redundancy built in. Again, what is the phone? It's a tool, and in one way you could even look at it as, it's just another tool in the toolbox. Gives me some comfort. Okay, God forbid something happens, my computer dies, the internet connection dies. I've got another way to get into a trade, or more likely get out of a trade, because I'm probably not going to go into a trade in that situation.
Right. But the thing about the indicators is that as a trader, you are the profit maker or profit taker. The market may give you an opportunity to take profit. You have to take profit, because beyond that, the only other thing you can do is prevent further loss. And that's just something that, it's hard for a lot of traders to understand. They think this indicator is going to do something or make something happen, when we all should know that it's not.
No, there's no magic bullet out there, and it's sort of like, and I'll even go as far as to say there's not a magic method out there either. There are lots of methods out there, and why is it that, one person can use a method and be hugely successful, and then another person, sitting maybe right next to him, uses the same method and is not profitable, may be profitable, but just at a very, very minimal amount, or is making lots and lots of losses. Well, what's the difference between those two people? Well, what's that one of those first screens that you have out there, TRO, with all that psychology, brain matter stuff that you have, it all depends, how you do things, like for me, I know with me, with my type of trading, I've got my 10-5-1, but if I don't see a day that's working with that, I don't have a problem just saying, you know what? I'm going to part B in my trading plan. My trading plan says get into the trade as soon as I take 2 or 3 pips. I'm out of the trade, and I don't have a problem with only making 2 pips on a trade because I know that between when I usually start trading like 6 o'clock Eastern time, and I know by the time I go and hang up my shoes at the end of the night, I'll have at least 5 more trades I could get into, and if they're all successful, that's 10 pips. That's my goal for the day. So that's good, and more times than not, what happens is that, instead of just getting 2 pips per trade, what happens is I'm actually able to go and stick one where it's still moving in my direction. Of course, I'm not getting out if it's still moving in my direction, but as soon as it stops, and if it's that type of a day, I'm out of there. I'll take my 2 pips. I'll take my 3 pips. And in fact, the beginning part of today, I took one loss, which was a 3-pip loss, and then I just won 2 pips, 2 pips, 2 pips, 3 pips, 2 pips, 3 pips, that type of a day. It was just, and then finally I went and got a 4-pip win, and I felt like a hero. It's like, but the thing is, it was just that type of a day. Now, is there any indicator out there that could go and tell me? TR, you already kind of alluded to it. You're the indicator writer of the world. Is there any indicator I could have had written that was going to tell me that's the type of day I was going to have?
No.
I don't think so. No, it's more of my experience, and it's my going and doing it, and just chart time, just sitting and watching and observing. And I know a lot of people like to go and jump from the instrument to instrument to instrument. If you can make money doing that, keep doing it. But for me, I want to go and get really intimate with it. I only trade the pound dollar, and I watch it. And when the pound dollar is doing what it's doing, I know it's doing it the way it normally does it, or I know that, hey, this is a day that's the pound dollar is doing. Somebody out there with big money is doing something because it's just not moving the way it's supposed to be moving. Either they're just not putting money into the market, or they're taking money out of the market, or they're just not there for whatever reason, and the market's jumping all over the place. Back in pre-U.S. election time, back in October, the pound dollar was jumping around literally within a second, sometimes 5-10 pips within a second. That was the type of thing. It was like, okay, what am I going to do? How do we go and trade this and still make money? Oh, I know how. I'm going to stick to my trading plan. The only difference is what I normally don't do is I normally don't put a TP out there. I'm going to stick a TP out there. And instead of trying to get 10 pips, I'm just going to go and put a TP out there 5 pips. So that when it goes and runs up that 10 pips and then it backs right off of it real quick, on the back off, maybe I'll just go and get the back off of it. And so I was still trading my trading plan. I just had to go and revisit my trading plan and say, okay, how can I continue to make money knowing that the market has changed? Well, thank goodness the market's not doing that right now. For whatever reason, it's kind of gone back to a little bit trading kind of normal, the way I'm used to it trading. And so now I don't have to do that anymore. So I can sit there and just, pop my pips and just be happy with it.
And that's what you have to do as a trader, is you have to realize that this is a game that you really don't control the outcome. You really don't. In most games, there might be something you can do to control the outcome, but in trading, you can minimize your loss, or you can take whatever profit is available at the time. But beyond that, there's not too much you can do.
Yeah, when you think about it, there's only 3 things you can do in trading. You can get into the trade, you can get out of the trade, or you can do nothing.
Yeah,
and
you know what?
3 options.
Yeah, and we're going to end on that note, because about the fastest 15 minutes in trading is up once again. So, fellow traders, indicators are not your savior. Okay, they're really not. So don't use them as a crutch. Use them as a tool, because it's not what you trade. It's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.